So here's some South Park characters based off of real life people that Trey Parker and Matt Stone either knew or know to this day. And a lot of us true diehard South Park fans probably know a lot of these, but I'm going to tell you anyway. First up, we got Butterscotch, who is based off of the animation director for South Park, Eric Stau. And this basically came to be because Matt was making fun of him and how wholesome he was, and they decided to put him in the show. But the clip of Trey and Matt talking about it is super funny.
Yeah, the whole Butterscotch character.
Actually, yes, he's here today.
Yep.
He's the animation director of South Park, Eric Stau. Right. And it was always Matt making fun of him that sort of, and we started calling him, he's our buddy, he's our little buddy, he's our Butters, who's my Butters, and then he became Butters, and we're like, we're going to put you in the show, Butters.
Yeah,
and he's like, well, you better not, I'll get awful mad.
He's here, he's sitting.
Next up, Kenny McCormick is actually based off of a real kid. No, the kid did not die all the time, but it is a kid that Trey Parker went to school with, and I guess he was the poorest kid in town, and he always wore an orange parka, and nobody understood what he was saying.
But there was actually a friend of mine, my friend Kenny, who at the bus stop all the time, he had the little orange coat, and he would always say shit. We couldn't understand him. We're like, we can't understand you, you know. And but he was the poorest kid in the neighborhood, and that's why, you know, it was always like. That's why we're always like, he would always sort of diss it. We're like, what happened to Kenny? Is he dead? You know, and just like, you know.
And last up, Mr. Mackey. And this character was based off of an actual counselor who worked at Trey Parker's school and apparently spoke just like how Mr. Mackey speaks in the show. The fact that God would give a man a voice that hilarious makes me believe that he has a bigger sense of humor than all of us.
All the characters in the show are based on a mission of a lot of different people. The worst one is, and he could so sue us, because I had a counselor, Mr. Lackey. And it was the first time I started doing voices, because he'd walk down the hallways and go, how's it going today, boys? And we'd all go, fine, Mr. Lackey, how are you doing? And he never knew we were all doing his voice back to him, you know.
So here...
America's finest cigarette presents the Lucille Ball Desiarnaz Show, I Love Lucy.
I remember once I was looking in the open air, and one of those glorious little thistledown things came, and I picked it up like that and brought it down, and it looked as if it was struggling to get away. Just as if you caught an insect by one leg, like a daddy long legs or something of that kind. It seemed to be struggling to get away, and I thought, well, it's not doing that. That's just the wind blowing. But then I thought again, really? Only the wind blowing? Surely it is the structure of this thing which, in cooperation with the existence of wind, enables it to move like an animal, but using the wind's effort, not its own. It is more intelligent being than an insect, in a way, because an insect uses effort, like a person who rows a boat uses effort, but the man who puts up a sail is using magic. He lets nature do it for him with the intelligence to use a sail, you see? Now that is the most highly skillful art of all. That is Taoism in perfection.
It was a flask stuck in the top of your rolled stocking, and hats that looked like flower pots and came down over your head. Your clothes were so slight that you couldn't possibly wear a girdle. Some women wore canvas bras to flatten out their chests. The clothes were very straight and very slim, and they were, to the older generation, they were called very fast, and they held up their hands in horror that no good was going to come of these women.
Oh, they thought it was terrible. Just awful, those rolled socks. And there was many a mother that made a girl go to the dance wearing a girdle, or a corset, as they used to call it, and a corset cover. And the girl, the first thing she did was take off the girdle, park it in the dressing room with her coat or wrap, whatever she was wearing, And because boys didn't want to dance with girls that had stays that held them in. They liked the soft, squishy feeling.
You've never heard anything like it.
We're in Japan, and the elevator starts down, and it stops like on every other floor. And every time the door opens, 2 or 3 more little Japanese people get on the elevator. Andre reaches over and gives me a little tap, and he winked at me. The door closes, and the next thing you hear is the loudest, longest fart I can ever remember in my life. Brother, I'm going to tell you something. When that elevator door opened, it was like the Exodus. All you could hear was Andre going, oh, oh, oh.
You introduced Dolly Parton the first time she was ever on the Opry.
Right.
She was 13.
Right.
When Dolly was on this program, she also mentioned that. She was quite proud of that. Would you like to see what she said?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, let's hear from Dolly Parton.
Johnny Cash was the person that introduced me that night. And Johnny, first time I saw him, that's when that's when he was lean and lanky. And that's when I first realized what sex appeal was. I was 13 years old. It was like, oh. It was like, holy moly, what is this? And then little did I know he'd be the first person to introduce me.
What did you say to Johnny Cash when you first met him?
I didn't say anything. My mouth just flew open. Well, first I had seen him on stage and I had all these feelings, which now I know is just being horny. I guess we could... Well, a sex appeal or something. I don't know if that's exactly the word. That's what I was.
You have any comment on that?
I really appreciate that. That was nice of you.
You've never heard somebody call themselves Shawnsy?
Nope.
Me neither.
Hello?
Hi, Sean.
Yep.
This is John from John Breaks Bad News. I have some bad news from Christian for you.
Okay.
Star Trek is better than Lord of the Rings, and you have a tight little man puss, and it stinks, and he can smell it, and it's one chip, one nacho. Stop being greedy.
He's wrong on all fronts.
I kind of agree with at least the first one. I like Lord of the Rings better than Star Trek. Star Trek is
right?
for
It's way better.
fucking nerds. And but I'm not versed enough in your man puss to know if it stinks or not.
It doesn't. I just showered.
All right, well that's good.
Hell yeah. I have to call this asshole back. Thanks, bud.
All right, love you, bye.
Love you, peace.
Set it back.
Okay.
All right, how much money are we saving by getting rid of the old clunker in exchange for the brand new Energy Star model? Power company sent you a letter in the mail, said, hey, if you got an old fridge, send that thing to the dump, show us the receipt, and you'll get a $20 credit towards a brand new Energy Star rated refrigerator. So you pick up a brand new 4.4 cubic foot Energy Star rated mini fridge. This is the Energy Sipper. It doesn't even have automatic defrost for a little under $300 because you got that $20 credit after paying somebody to get rid of great grandpa's 86-year-old refrigerator that was double the cubic foot capacity and outlived all your relatives. You plug in your brand new mini fridge. A little over half a week later, it's only used 2.72 kilowatt hours. Indeed, it is an energy sipper. This thing costs pennies to run. If you had plugged in great grandpa's fridge, surprise, surprise, also costs pennies to run. This is on time-lapse camera. I see this all the time. People throw stuff like this away thinking it costs fortunes to run just because it's old. This was designed during the Great Depression. These do not cost a lot of money to run. And it's also, remind you, double the size, 86 years old and on restored. Look at the door gasket on this. There's so much heat getting inside of this refrigerator. This thing's cycling on and off almost twice as much as it should be. This one in the long run is going to cost about $5 less over a year than this one.
Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to Creative Chaos, the show that's dedicated to shining a spotlight on fascinating people creating fantastic things outside the mainstream. Because, in my own personal opinion, and I think plenty of people that would watch this show, number one, the mainstream has really disappointed us. And number two, having that fiercely independent spirit is an awesome thing to behold, and I love having people that are kind of practicing um the freedom of individual expression, creative expression. It's kind of some of the cornerstones of what our great country, the United States of America, is built on. And I'm happy to have our guest here tonight. We'll bring him out in about 5 minutes. But of course, I love bringing in my co host first. I hope he's not eating. We're going to see. Let's bring out the Batman. You did that just for me.
I just made myself a really cool dip, and I got some chips. I made myself a nice cup of hot tea, and I still got my bottle of water, so I'm good. We're set for the show.
That was a big jar of hot tea.
It's 24 ounces. Yes.
It's not one of those dainty cups because you're a man and you drink out of a jar.
I drink out of a jar.
How's it
Yes,
going,
I
Bruce?
do. I'm doing good, Christy. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. This is probably the latest that I got some of the things that I needed to get to our lovely producer, Cosmic Grandpa. I was sending him stuff at the last minute, including setting up our Rumble stream about 20 minutes before going live. So,
Nice.
but that's because I'm working full time now, and I'm learning how to juggle, Flip City
Exactly.
along with a full time job because I haven't
How
done that in a couple of years.
how is the new job coming?
It's okay. I'm working for a guy that I used to work for before, and I had rose-colored glasses on when I said I'd go back, and then immediately I remembered exactly how he is. And he's not a bad person or anything. He's just, he's got his quirks, and so I'm remembering how to work with him.
Gotcha.
And he's not paying me so bad.
There you go. Can't
Yeah.
complain about that. What does Scott have to say about it?
He is happy that the weight of supporting our very meager lifestyle is not all on Flip City Magazine. I think he wants me to work a little less than full time, but I'm going to do full time for through at least the end of the year, and we can take care of some of our debts and stuff like that.
Get some Christmas presents,
It's
kill some debt.
well, that's what he said. He said you saved Christmas, and I said that feels good.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's cool
So
that you saved Christmas.
I did. In fact, so my daughter has every Friday off, so I am taking tomorrow off as well, and we are shopping because I got my
Nice.
first paycheck. So I am gonna splurge a little bit tomorrow
All right.
in my own frugal way. We're going to Home Goods. Do you have Home Goods?
Yes, we do.
Do you love Home Goods?
I love Home Goods.
I
Home
like the
Goods,
dog.
Marshalls, TJ Maxx. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got great stuff.
Let's say hi to the chat.
Hi, chats. I saw Vulcan Lives jumped out and said, Bruce.
Yes,
Shouted
he
me out.
did. And also Madness Entertainment Group checking in with his patented heyo.
That's right. And Michael
I just
Ferraro.
saw Michael Ferraro from
Michael
last
Ferraro
week
out there.
checking in. Hi, Michael. All right. And then nobody over on the pilled side, except for Cosmic Grandpa, drop in a Flip City sticker, has checked in. So if you are watching us on Pilled, drop a sticker. Say what is up. All right, Bruce, you know that Creative Chaos wouldn't happen without Flip City Magazine, so we always have to give them a little bit of credit. I mean, me, them, us.
Flip City Magazine is the most important part of this whole show, because without it, we wouldn't have this show tonight.
It is true. Yeah, but also we wouldn't have this show tonight without all the awesome independent creators out there, and we'll bring our guest in very soon. But first, we got to talk a little bit about Flip City Magazine because we have a campaign that is live right now over on Fund My Comic. It is the Flip City Magazine Parodies Special Edition. This magazine's been 5 years in the making, and so we've picked all of our hottest parodies to republish, and it's going to be 80 or more full color pages, and it's going to be very laugh packed. So, cause if we can bring up the campaign real quick, I do have my screen shared. Yeah, Bruce, you can still talk.
I just wanted to say this is like your version of what
here
they would drop an annual edition. Now it's taken you 5 years to drop an annual edition, but there
it is our very first special edition. You know, we needed to build up a ton of content.
Absolutely.
Gosh,
so you
you
guys
know what?
need to go out there and take care of this by making sure you get on GoFundMe.
Nope.
Get
Fund My Comic.
Oh, fundmycomic.com /FlipCity27.
That's right. And so we picked up a couple more backers from a Substack post yesterday. So that was
nice.
Cool. Yeah,
Very cool.
Substack is showing up for Flip City. We're at 20 backers. That feels good to have that nice round number, and $647 and 32% funded of our $2,000 goal. We've got 15 days to go, just over 2 weeks.
Nice.
And I just wanted to bring up one of our tiers. I mean, of course, we've got our print edition right here. It's free shipping in the USA, so it is a flat $70 out the door to get that 80-page full color parody special edition. But I'm so proud of our trading card set. For anybody that is a subscriber to Flip City and they're going to get this magazine anyway, the only way they can get these collector's cards is by supporting the campaign. It's $20. It's a set of 11, but it might most likely will end up being 12. Regular size trading cards. And Scott, I had to point this out because Scott's been working on the actual cards. It has pictures of characters from the parodies, but on the back, it's going to be stats. And the stats relate to the parody, and they're very, very funny. It is something that the collector of Flip City Magazine is not going to want to miss out on because it's basically extra Flip City Magazine because it's the back stats are going to be packed with jokes. So I wanted to point that out. So we've got 15 days left. I think we will end up extending the campaign, but please, we would so appreciate your support on our Fund My Comic Parodies Special Edition campaign. And you can find that at fundmycomic.com /FlipCity27. Do it! And Vulcan Lives says he got the cards.
Now, the other thing people have to do, if Cosmic can throw up that cool little bar we do at the beginning of every show here, they need to like, they need to share, they need to subscribe, and they need to ring the bell. And if you're on pills, hit the red pill. And if you really want to help us out, show us some love by throwing us some gold pills. Thank you, Cosmac.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the only way this stream is really going to be seen is by people talking about it and sharing it. And at Kitty Flip City over on X is the one that's always posting about the show, so you can share it over on X. Super easy over there. You guys, Christian Zaffo popped in. Say what's up, peeps. What's up, Christian? Thanks for
What's up, Zaffo?
Remember to at least like the stream. All right, it is time for us to bring in our wonderful guest. And we've got a good one for you, 2 night. His name is Matt Simecek. 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 2 and he's a lifetime artist and creator of Shadowpunk, a 48-page sci-fi comic set in a dystopian future. Let's watch the trailer, and then we'll meet Matt on the other side.
Cool.
Hey.
Hello. You
How are
knew
ya?
when it was going to end.
What's up, Maddie? How are you
No,
doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Bruce?
Good, good, good. Loving the art. Loving the art.
Thank you. Thank you. It's all I do, right? Is make artwork. So it's fun that people like it. Anything. Anything you do, artists love it when people say they like it, right? I'm sure even Michelangelo was like, that's awesome that you like that thing. So, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
really do love your style as well. It's
Thank you.
very attractive.
Thank you very much. It is unique on purpose. There's just so many different kinds of comic book styles, right? But I was not really interested in hey Vulcan. I wasn't interested in mimicking or just finding a style that somebody's already done and modifying it, which is totally valid, which is extremely difficult to do, right? I'm sure even like Frank Miller did that, right, at some level, right, when he started out. So, but for me, it was more of making my own style. That's important to me. Whether or not you know, I kind of think that a lot of comic skaters love the '90s stuff. I mean,
That's what I grew up on.
of course. And it's good a reason to love it, right? It is awesome. And you know, but yeah, so that was kind of my thinking, is to create my own style, and come up with a unique way of doing it, which kind of helps. So I normally people draw, pencil it, and then they have an inker do it, or they ink it themselves or whatever. I draw my stuff in Adobe Illustrator. And so I'll, for example, I'll shoot reference, and then I'll draw all the hands, and it's a tool that I'm used to because I worked in post production for so long, right?
Hey, Matt, when you draw in Illustrator, you're doing vector drawings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I don't think that many people do that. Am I
It's
am I correct in that assumption?
That is 100% correct.
Okay.
At least not in comic books, right? People use it for illustration and whatnot, but they don't normally. They don't really do. I mean, logically, I think the process that the old timers came up with works for a reason, right? The penciler pencils, and then they hand it off, and then that burden is lifted from them, and then the inker goes to town, and then so forth, down the road. And I think that's probably the fastest, most effective way to make a comic book. I would never be so arrogant to think that my way is better. It isn't, but it's just when I decided I wanted to make a comic book, I thought, okay, I can't. It's going to take me years to figure out how to ink. I mean, that is an art form unto itself. Forget it. And the penciling is challenging too. I mean, it really is. And doing it in a way that people like, that is a challenge. So, but I figured there's no way I could do that. And plus, here's the thing, I'm not a crosshatcher, I'm not an embellisher style wise. I'm a shape color person, shape, color, and design. That's kind of because that's just my background. I'm just this. People are different, right? So if you said, "Hey, draw like David Finch or something," I could probably do something, but it wouldn't feel natural
because it's just not my natural way of thinking about things. Who knows why that is, but in the end, I think what it does is that it gives my book its own unique look. And you know, I mean, maybe if I had made a book that did look just like David Finch, for example, I would have sold 1,000 copies, right? I'm not saying I would, but you get the point, right? So that's the challenge with new styles, is to try to find a way to make them as compelling as you can possibly make them, right? So the people will go, that's something cool.
Right. And, I'm actually going to put a challenge on Bruce because he does like doing this with most of the guests that come on, is comparing somebody's style to somebody else. Do you have
Sure.
a comparison, Bruce?
Okay, so I didn't get a chance to look it up, but there was a Vertigo comic book back in the day that came out around the same time as Sandman, Jericho something or other, and it had that flavor and feel to it with a little bit of like sci-fi going on around it. So I'm trying to remember the name of the
Are you
comic
saying
book.
my style looks like that style?
Yes, in
Ooh.
terms of not the style, but the I
The
don't know the
flavor.
story to your book. All right,
Right.
only what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
But the esoteric aspect of it and the kinetic energy of the book has that same flavor and feel.
Sure. It is a because as an artist, I went to art school. I've sat in classrooms where we all criticize everybody's artwork, right?
Right.
And you kind of do what you're describing a little bit. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I did that for a long time, and I worked in an illustration studio. So I'm used to analyzing artwork and going, yeah, that's that and that's that. And when you're a kid, you're like, man, everything's got to look like Jim Lee, everything, right? It's like or Todd McFarlane, right? For good reason, because they're awesome, right? But it was a hurdle for me to get past that, because to me that was the only reason you'd make a book, is to make it look like that. As crazy as that sounds, okay? And I was an illustrator, so I was used to different styles. But when it came to
Right.
comics, I looked at it very narrow, right? I don't know why. But it is a thing to get over. Like artists back in the day, if Rembrandt was your teacher, you spent another 10 years after you learned getting rid of that influence so that you could come up with your own style. And that's how like people were like, it was like taught into them, to paint the way that he does, to light things the way that he does, you know what I mean? And that's very difficult for artists to get around. And
Yeah.
so it is, I mean,
And most of your work is all computer generated anyway. You draw your own work on the computer. So
yeah,
it's a whole different style altogether. I mean, it's not like Ditko or Dixon or any of these guys out there that, you know, like Tim Vigil, who we happen to be friends with. His style is so unique unto itself,
big
as
time.
is your style, the style of your drawing,
Well,
and that has to do with how you're making your art.
well, I mean, Tim Vigil, he is very unique, and he found a way to mirror to put together the right content with the right style. Okay, he's unless you're making a point, he's not your love story romance guy. Okay, and
No,
you could do it that way and it would be fun, but you get the point, right?
he loves what he does though, and he's happy with his work, and he enjoys having the fan base that he has. Would he like to be more, fan friendly? I'm sure, but that's not his go-to. He draws his
Well,
art for himself.
the I will humbly say the difference between me and Tim Vigil is that he made it, and and I have.
You're gonna make it too. You're gonna
I
make it too.
this is
You'll
my
see.
and this is my second book. So he is. I remember going. I grew up in Michigan. I just moved here a couple years ago, um, to Arkansas, and I remember going to the comic store and seeing, I think it was Grips.
I was just going to say his original books didn't do well, and I have Grips. I have grip. I had Grips. I had Faust. I I loved his work. I actually went back and found a lot of his earlier stuff
Oh yeah.
because I got hooked on Faust, and then found out he had done earlier books, and I was very friendly with a couple of comic book shop owners, and they would hunt them down for me back in
Oh.
the day. Unfortunately, I lost the majority of my collection to a flood in my basement. Nothing was stacked on racks, and thousands of dollars lost
Yeah.
in comic books.
When I just remember, you know, it's really a strange thing because I remember him vividly. And he, if you said you could name 10 bullpen Marvel artists that you would go, I would go, yeah. And then you'd show me and I go, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. But when you say Tim Vigil, there's no confusion whatsoever. And it's so powerful, the artwork, right? It hits you in the face. And so he accomplished that. And that is not easy to do. And if I remember correctly, all those early books were all black and white. They were all like, I don't know who printed them, but they were not printed by the same people that Marvel used, for example, where like they were not premier print mint gorgeous printings. They were good. But when you open the book, you're like, what the fuck? So I handed to him, whatever that phrase is. There's a lot of guys like him who did that, who never became billionaires, but they were awesome, and they still are. So
Wait, did Bruce mute? Did Bruce mute or freeze? I can't tell.
he's been muting and freezing off and on.
All right, he's back.
So anyway, so yeah, you make a really good point. Making a comic book, I don't know if you guys have ever done it. I don't know your backgrounds, if you're art writers or artists or just fans. I don't know. It sounds like you're writers.
Well, us in particular, Flip City Magazine, we started with one writer and artist, and that was Scott McKenzie, the creator, co-owner, co-publisher, along with myself. So he is an artist illustrator, but something that I wanted. I'm sorry, not he's a writer illustrator. And we've been blessed enough to be able to attract enough people who aren't ashamed to be a little irreverent in a time where that kind of stuff can get you canceled.
Right.
Um,
I guess I just bring it up because the endeavor of making a comic book is pretty big, and it's unless you are one of those artists who are lightning fast, which I'm not. Like when I do the 3D part of the campaign as well as the 2D stuff. I'm a methodical artist. And I wish I was, lightning, whatever, but man, I'm not, so.
Well, I've only met one other person in this space of independent creators that does vector illustration, but he's a game maker. And I can only imagine what it's like doing panels, and sequential art with vectors.
It's some parts of it are, it really comes down to creating a pipeline, right? Like you go, I'm going to lay the thing out, rough it in, and then I'm going to start shooting reference for each panel, which I do intentionally. And then you get my point is you can streamline it to make it as expedient as you can with keeping the quality. One of the really good things about vector is that you can blow it up as big as you want, right? And then the other thing is like when I'm doing the flatting, sometimes of the colors, it's that part is not as challenging because the shapes, I have the body all in the separate of the character, for example. so I can grab them out of Illustrator and grab those little pieces and go boop, and I have that shape. So that is a nice part. It's harder when you do things like lots of small details that when people pencil, they can do it fast, or ink, right?
Right.
Kind of exactly what you think. So that doesn't happen as easy with vector, and so it's a trade-off. The other thing too is that I've seen these guys who've been doing the books for a long time, and their pipeline is extremely trimmed down and well thought out by now because they've done it 1,000 times, right?
Right.
This is my second book, so uh, it's hard to gauge where I should be as far as like how were they on their second book. You know what I mean? I have no idea. You know what I mean? So,
Unless
and
you talk to them.
you know what? That is true. A lot of the people I know in CG are they're not those people. Unfortunately, I don't really. Most of them are writers. Most of the people that I know, some of them are artists. Like Bancroft's an artist, obviously, but and there's a couple, um, but if you say, hey, how much vector art do you do? They're like,
Yeah.
what the hell is that? Right?
Right.
So all of a sudden we're like all of a sudden our process goes like that. Mine's over here and yours is over there.
Yeah,
So
I could imagine. Well, hey Matt, I definitely want to get into actually talking about Shadowpunk and what it's all about. But one of the ways that we love to get to know our guests is with Bruce's segment. It's called Fanboy for Us. And I have a feeling you're a fanboy of certain things.
bring it.
All right. Are you ready to get into the segment?
Sure, whatever. I don't even know what it could be a fanboy about whatever. I have
All
no
right.
idea. So
Let's freaking geek out then.
okay.
Oopsie.
Right.
Oopsie Cosmic. I don't know if you saw that I moved that at the last.
Yep, you did. I saw it.
I have to reorganize this. There we go.
There you go. All right. So, Maddie, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I really don't want you to think too hard about it. Some of your favorite things. And I'm going to be specific about what I'm going to ask you your favorites on.
I'm gonna freeze up in about 2 seconds.
Oh, don't worry about it. This is how we get to know who you are.
Okay.
So I want to know your favorite movie.
I mean, I'll say Star Wars.
Okay, we get that a lot. You have others? Go ahead.
Yes, I have a lot of. I have big fan of Dr. Zhivago. Big fan of the David Lean movies, right? Big fan of Kubrick movies. I know everything about those movies. So they're different genres, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some
absolutely.
of them are like slapstick, right? So yeah.
Very good. So a big Kubrick fan, huh?
Sure, yeah. I got into it big time. I know what those movies are about.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Now, any genre, this next question, any genre, any medium, your favorite artist.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say the genre. Oh, okay.
Any genre, your favorite artist.
Obviously,
I'm like, hurry up, Matt. Jeez.
I'm a big Frazetta fan.
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
I think that's the first time we've had a Frazetta fan.
I mean, but who isn't a Frazetta fan, right?
I grew up on Frazetta.
So
go ahead.
I'm a big Frazetta fan as far as like fantasy artwork. Obviously, in comic books, I'm a big Jay Lee fan.
Okay.
And if my artwork was ever going to push any other direction, I would go that way. Because
Gotcha.
I like the silhouettes and the style. And music-wise, I am really...
We'll get to music. We'll get to music down the road.
Okay.
Save that right now.
Okay.
Artist is more along the lines of ceramic, sculpting, painting, cartooning, drawing,
Visual art.
whatever.
Visuals, right?
Visual art. Visual art. So that's why I asked about movies first. Favorite artist. Now I want to know what your favorite foods are.
Oh man, I like I'm a big potato fan. Not to reduce it to the bottom common denominator, okay?
No, that's fine.
But I like
So what do you put on your potato?
I like salt. Right before I die, I want to eat as much salt as possible. Right?
Okay.
You know,
Do you like your pink salt or do you like your iodized salt, kosher salt?
uh, it's sea salt.
Sea salt is great. All right. Very
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
Excellent.
if you threw me on an island and you said you're stuck, maybe that's a food I would pick because you won't get sick of it as much either, right? I love Atlantic salmon.
Okay.
I eat that a lot. It's very healthy. At least I
It
pretend.
is.
And so I love that.
You get fresh. You get fresh salmon, or is it the colored salmon, the pink salmon?
It. I mean, it. I get it from Kroger when it's wrapped up in the things.
Yeah.
So, and
Okay.
I don't know how expensive. The other stuff sounds expensive, so I don't think I can afford to get anything other than that.
I
But,
hear you. Absolutely. But
but
salmon's a good favorite of mine as well. A little bit of lemon or butter, depending on which way you want to go on it, or a honey mustard glaze. Oh, on salmon, try it. If you haven't tried it, a honey mustard glaze over salmon is delicious.
I'm sure it is, man.
If
I mean,
potatoes disappeared overnight, I think I might have to die.
come on.
Like
It is.
it's an often choice for a side
It's
in
almost like,
this
and if
house.
and if somebody said, "Hey, you don't even know, dude. Try this other thing, and it's just like potatoes." And the second I would eat it, I would go, "You're totally fucking crazy." It's too perfect. The potato's too perfect.
It is.
You know.
Yeah, potatoes with sour cream and chives, maybe a little bacon bits on top.
Yeah.
Always a good choice.
I do
Go ahead.
think it's funny that Matt said salt though. I'm like, what? No, salt. Yeah, no, it's cheese and butter and sour cream.
Okay, I'm gonna just lay it out there, just so
Mhm.
you understand why I'm the way that I am. I am a very I don't like a lot of stuff. I
Oh,
almost like just the pure. That's why salt came up, because I would just eat the salmon sometimes with pepper on it, or just eat potatoes with a little salt on them.
Okay.
So my palate is like a very like
that's
right.
interesting. I don't know if
So
I've
Yeah,
you're
ever
very
met
happy with
anybody
a
like that.
you're happy with a very plain baked potato and a dash of salt.
and I love the basic taste of things. Right. So uh, probably my ancestors, some of them were from England or something. Right. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it, but they
You
clearly
have
were
a
not.
very set palate, though. You have exactly what you like, and that's how you have it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd eat grapes all the time if I could really afford it and they didn't go bad so quick, right? I would just gobble grapes up constantly. But, you know,
All right.
yeah.
So we got your favorite food. Now, what's your favorite drink? Alcoholic and or non-alcoholic, or both? One of each.
Um, I don't, I mean, I would drink beer once in a blue moon. Not really a drinker, really.
So, are you saying you would occasionally drink a Blue Moon beer, or you
I
just
would.
in a Blue Moon you're just occasionally a beer drinker?
I think both apply here. I mean, and you won't be surprised to find out that, like, I drink iced tea with no sugar in it, which is, describing my palate. That's kind of like how I am. Sometimes I'll put sugar or something in there or whatever, but generally it's pretty, And you would go like if we lived together or something, you go, what the fuck, you know? It would get old quick for somebody, but it's like you become comfortable with it. And I'm generally a pretty, I, in some ways I'm not moderate at all, but in this way I am. You know.
All right.
Oh, well, now my interest is really piqued. I want to know the like least moderate
Oh.
way Matt is.
Oh. My understanding of the world, I don't even consider it a an opinion. It's so
Okay.
extreme and it's based on real. It's not based on like what I want it to be. It's pretty out there. And
Yeah.
it isn't like a thing I made up. It's just what it is, you know.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, you really didn't give much detail, but I seem to think maybe we'll have even more fun in Conspiracy Corner at the end of the show.
Well, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. So there's nothing in your entire life that either of you could say to me that would ever shock me.
Really?
Yeah, trust me. There's nothing. As a matter of
Wow.
fact, I would be afraid to tell you uh, the rest of it.
I feel like you scrolled the 4chan boards.
I don't need to. I mean, I've watched enough to go. But maybe about 15 years ago, I was probably what you would consider somebody that thought voting was real.
I'm about there in the last few years.
Right. So now what you want to do is spend about 15 years getting your eyeballs blazed off. And then you find out that holy Toledo, I thought the sun was real. Right? That level of thing. And you're like, okay,
And
let's
that
just
men walked on the moon, and that the Earth is round.
well, you
Dude,
know, the world is really a crazy space, and I wouldn't tell you one way or the other about those subjects because I wasn't there. But
Okay.
I will tell you this: if somebody said, "Hey, you can have the technology to make it to the moon, or you can have the technology to make the world think you made it to the moon," which one would you pick? Exactly. So
one's
that's
much cheaper.
well, one has a lot of applications to it, and one you can fly up there and come back. So I would take the other one, right? I would take the one that has all the applications for a bunch of other shit, right? So, and then I said, yeah, I'm gonna make a comic book. Fuck it, I'm gonna just make a comic book, and just live my life, and just because there's nothing I can do about any of that anyway, you know. So yeah, it's craziness. But anyway, continue with your
Yes.
thing.
Two
We're
more
we're
questions.
we're
We have
putting
two
this
more
back on the
questions.
rails.
Yes, thank you.
We digress all the time, Matt. So it's all right. It's all good. All right. Any genre again? Any genre at all? Your favorite character?
Oh man, I
What
mean,
or who is your favorite character?
the way because I'm a creator, the way that I would assess that is what's the most potent character, and hypothetically, you can say Mary Poppins is one of those characters. It's a character made up, right? With has a whole thing around it, right? So, man, I would just tell you, I think Darth Vader is really well conceived, and
I knew you were going there. I knew
you
you were
know,
going Darth
it's
Vader. I
it's
don't know
so
why. I just had that feeling.
it's such a cliche, but it's only because it's true, you know.
The ultimate baddie.
But the thing is, okay, I am a fan of the prequels. Okay, I understand why people hate them, but to me, uh, they tell you something about the world that's actually happening today, and
Yeah.
and he's doing that on purpose. And I also love the story of the rise and fall of Anakin and the way that he was pulled down. You know, and then there's also the other factor, which some people know this and some people don't. Is that in my opinion, I think that Palpatine found the mother and he put the juju on her, and that's how they created a being that has so many midichlorians. So there's a scene in the third movie in Revenge of the Sith where they're at the opera thing. They're at like a show, and the Palpatine's talking to Anakin, and they are basically telling you that in other ways, not overtly telling you that, but they're also showing you profile to profile, as in father son. So, and maybe it isn't literal, but it's close to literal, So, yeah, yeah. So I think Darth Vader is such a well conceived character. I love him. I think he's great. I'm sure there are other really good ones out there. I mean, even if you say Baron Karza is a Vader ripoff or something, he's still cool. So
Yeah, I don't know why, but I had a feeling you were going Vader as you started to discuss the way you were heading.
yeah.
I mean, I look at Vader as almost like I want to say like the devil, if you will. Lucifer Morningstar. He's like the other side of the realm. And I know there's all kinds of biblical kind of story arcs and comparisons that they talk about, whether Lucas wants to admit it or not. All across the boards, there's too many coincidences for it to really be a coincidence. But
sure,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now we come to the last question.
But real quick, I have to like bust in here for a little bit of early mansplaining. What the hell is a midichlorian?
You are kicked off your own show.
No, I'm not. This is why I have my co-host, is so that you guys can geek out and I can turn my camera off and
Do
smoke
you want me to
cigarettes.
do you want me to tell her?
Please do.
Yes.
She
So
needs to know.
inside in the Star Wars universe, my understanding is that inside every human being or every creature is some level of midichlorians, which are these are subatomic entities, and they are connected to the beings being connected to the Force. So
Almost like
somebody
nanobots invading your body, but they're parasites, if you will.
Oh,
and
okay.
so for example, somebody like me or you have like two, right? I don't even know. They never tell you what that is. But somebody like Anakin, who's maxed out, and he literally is a Frankenstein type character. He is got millions. So his connection to the Force is so much stronger than even the average Jedi. And so the theory is that Palpatine found a way to manipulate these. And so he found the perfect person, his mother, who had this immaculate conception birth. And it really, because I remember watching that and going, that sounds like bullshit. That sounds like a thing that's a bad story idea, right? Where you go, come on, dude, you could do better than that. And it turns out it was intentionally meant to be like that, so that it bumps over your head, right? Where you go, so if you
Right, people don't pay attention; they just kind of focus on what they're watching.
And I think a lot of good movies are like that, where the Kubrick movies are like that too, where you have the narrative that which is the bouncing ball that you follow with the characters, but below it there's symbolism and double talk that it has
Subtext.
but it has a whole nother movie.
Yeah.
And so Kubrick figured that out. And when you watch his movies, you can if you watch 2001 like a normal person, you're like, what? Okay, I've seen space stuff before. But when you get into what it's about, then you're like, holy shit, fuck.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's fun to do, and I think that a lot of these filmmakers, Lucas, I know that Lucas was a fan of Kubrick. They understand that, because like normally when you talk to a normal person, there's depth involved in the nuance, right? If we
Right.
meet in a comic book store, I've never met you before, but we don't know what's going to happen when we talk. And so we're bouncing things. So when you watch a movie, they want to have depth also, that isn't just a single dimensional story. So their way of doing it is to layer these things in there so that it has depth to it,
Pulp
And
Fiction was the same way. I don't know if
who's that?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. I mean,
Tarantino is like off the wall with that stuff.
he's off the wall. The whole thing about the gold watch and uh, what was his name? Was his name? It wasn't Bruce, was it?
Bruce Willis's character you're
Yeah,
talking about.
Butch. That's what it was. Butch.
Butch.
Yeah. So there's a whole layering of all the symbology going on in his sequence. You're like, oh shit, man. And he knows what he's doing. That's for sure. I don't like all of his movies, but I do like a handful of them. And that's typical of a lot of people. I like the Blade Runner poster back there. I'm a big Ridley Scott fan, but I don't really like all of his movies.
Right.
Some of them I think are just like the Napoleon movie. I did not like at all.
Which one?
Napoleon.
Didn't see it.
They
Didn't phase me.
So what they did real quick is they took the guy that turned Europe on its head, and they made him an ineffectual, indecisive man who only in certain times he's effective, like on the battlefield. But anything after that, he's out of his element, and he can't make decisions, and he's easy to. You're like, what the fuck? Give me a break. So there's a level of change in history going on, but um, he made Blade Runner, which is one of my probably I should have said that's my favorite movie. Um,
I don't think we've had anybody say Blade Runner as their favorite yet.
I mean,
Woody M, good to see you, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out to Woody because he's lighting up the chat over there, even saying that he loves me. I love
Aw.
you too, Woody. Thank you.
So anyway, so yeah, so I'm the thing I like about Blade Runner is, I mean, there's so many things, but in general, is I like movies that feel submersive. And that's a movie that makes you feel like even the world looks like shit. But you go, that would be kind of neat for 10 minutes to walk around and say, what the heck, is going on here? Um, and it's the mood that they create. Like the Tron Legacy movie did that too, where it pulls you in. You feel like you're inside the thing, which you are in the movie. And so I think Tarantino probably does it like in Reservoir Dogs. You feel like you're almost one of those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a quality that is hard to do, and it's so much fun when people pull it off.
Yes.
Like when I was a kid, remember that movie Brewster's Millions?
Yes.
I remember like going when I got out, I was like, man, I'm going to spend a lot of money, And I was a kid, and you can see how these things can influence people. How powerful those things are.
Yes.
So.
Well, if you're watching television as a kid like I was, it's tell lie visions. They're telling you lies through visions watching TV. All the movie screen is just a giant version of a tell lie vision. But I digress.
That's an excellent point. And when the show is done, I'll spend 2.5 minutes telling you something else.
Or we'll do it in Conspiracy Corner.
Well, I don't know if you can handle it. I don't know if the public record can handle it.
Well, we'll just see. I mean, it is why Creative Chaos has low views. Conspiracy Corner has just turned way too many people off.
I mean, yeah.
Well, Bruce,
we'll figure it out. Last question.
Yeah.
The last question.
This is the last question.
And it's Christy's favorite.
Okay.
Your favorite band.
So I'm not in a music aficionado. I'm going to tell you that off the bat. I'm a pop music. I like the things I like guy. I don't seek out like new stuff generally. Man, I generally like 70s and 80s music and finding like I found a song by Richie Blackmore's Rainbow the other day. And I thought, I haven't heard that song in 20 years, right? And it was just awesome. And once in a while, I find something new, like Cannons is like a synth pop band. And I didn't even know there was a thing called synth, okay? That's how clueless I am.
Cannons?
Cannons, yeah.
Cannons.
Yeah.
Like to shoot cannons off of a boat.
Yep. And they have some cool. It's very poppy. Some of it, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to put a finger on a favorite band because I'm not really like, some people are big into music, and which is
Yes.
great. Which is great. I'm more of a cerebral person, so I tend to be more into ideas as opposed to like emotional music. Like music is more emotional to me. Um, but like I listened like that Rainbow song I listened to the other day. I was like, wow, this is emotional. I love it. So it is what it is. I'm not really like I'm not a heavy metal dude. Like people are like their brains are tattooed into it. They love it, right? Like, and I get that totally, 100%. I'm more of a mellow person, So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, I
So
looked up cannons. I'll play it later so I can hear what they sound like because I'm not a music aficionado, but I like listening to music and I listen to all genres. So cannons might be something I'll enjoy. And synth, I actually found, you're gonna laugh. You know what a Moog is? A Moog synthesizer?
Moog.
Moog.
Yes, I've
A
heard of
Moog.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So Moog was the first synthesizer that was used to create music, and they use it to do Bach, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, and it's called Turn on Bach, Turn on Beethoven, Turn
Oh.
on and it's synth music, but it's Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, and Bach. Love it, love that
That
stuff.
sounds fun.
So it's synth style, but it's their music in synth mode, and it's beautiful.
You
Love
know,
that stuff.
it's so is it like okay, like if you did Mozart and you did his famous one, I forget what it is,
Paco
but
Bell Cannons,
no, Mozart had the dun 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 dun
William
dun.
Tell Overture. Dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun,
that's not
dun,
what it
dun.
is. Anyway, my
Okay,
point is the Willing Tell Overture. If they did it, you're saying they would use this instrument to play that.
correct.
And so how does it translate?
Oh yeah, very well. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
you could go find it on YouTube. Turn on Bach. Just YouTube it, and you'll catch some of it, and
Cool.
you'd be like, "Wow!" But it's all
Cool.
synthesizer music, all synth, and it's really cool.
You
They do a
know,
phenomenal job of it.
the music from a lot of music in movies is really nice. In it. So, and it isn't a shocker. The music from Star Wars is very, very powerful. Even the even that like that they have to like they're gonna pan down to the forest, and you hear a twinkle kind of music, and you're like, "That's fucking great." I don't even like the Ewoks, and this is fucking cool.
Yeah,
So I mean, you gotta love the thing
they
that
draw you in with the music.
I mean. Come on, it's so cool. I think like the art form of making music for movies gives you probably a lot of opportunities to do things you normally wouldn't be able to do. Like for example,
Yes,
it's tied to the visuals, which makes it even more powerful. Um, because there's depth. There's layers, right?
yes,
So like you could watch Star Wars and just kind of zone out and listen to it, or vice versa, right? You could ignore it, but either way, those layers are there, and that's fun for people, I think.
absolutely. Do you know who Danny Elfman is?
Yeah, right. He was one of those guys I remember early on, like in the first Batman movie. I was like, cool.
Oingo Boingo. That was his
Oingo
original
boingo.
band, Oingo Boingo, and then he came out to be more of a, I guess, movie composer, and that's what he does now. Most of his work now is composing music for movies, and he's phenomenal. And he's very
It's
tied into Tim Burton. Very tied into Tim Burton. They have very similar tastes, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah, for sure. And Aaron Moriarty, good to see you, brother. I haven't spoken to you in a bit. I owe you a phone call, brother.
Yes. Yes. Hello to Aaron and also Mouthgape mouth agape ape. I'm sure he's already hit the rack, but popped in to say he was given a like. I appreciate that.
Very cool. All right. Well, that ends our segment of Fanboy for us. And I'm going to turn it back over to my lovely hostess, and she's going to carry on.
And we can finally talk about your book, Shadow Punk,
Yes.
which is so funny because it has the word punk in it, and I'm like, oh, this guy's totally an ex-punk rocker. So to hear that, like, you're
Right.
not even that much into music,
Right. And I'm not really like I'm a mellow dude. Unless you get me worked up about something cerebral, like I'm really like a late, So punk rock tends to be in your face, smash, right?
I guess. Well, I wouldn't. Well, I guess if you're describing punk rock itself, but I think the style, the lifestyle of the punk, I think you literally get to be whoever you want to be.
That's a
You
good
know.
point. It is a good point. I mean, the name came to me because I wanted the character. She's young. She's like a 10-year-old girl. But I wanted her to. She would be operating at night in the shadows, trying to solve the things that are part of the story. So it took a while for me to come up with it, and nobody gives a shit what my name is. That's why I stopped using my real name. My name is. Everybody calls me Shadow Punk, and it's never
Mhm.
gonna end. If I had a giant thing behind my head that said my name and spelled it out phonetically, people would just go over. They don't care. You know.
Actually, by the way, I super appreciated in your campaign that you did spell your name out phonetically because it helped me in your intro. I'm like,
Well,
thank
somebody.
you.
Yes, somebody saw that, right? For sure. It's you grow up with a name, you don't realize that people don't get it, right? Which is typical for names like mine. Everybody's they have the Polish name or a Czech name or whatever. So you don't get. So now it's like on the campaign, I might as well put it there just in case. But which is totally cool. It's like I don't mind. I like what happened was when I first came into the scene, I didn't know if people had their names, fake names, or the names of their books. So in the beginning, I just put the name of my book, and the name rolls off the tongue.
It
So
does.
there you go. It's on my
So
birth certificate.
pronounce your last name for me so I get it.
Simecek.
Simecek.
I
Yep.
pronounced it perfectly in
You
the
did.
intro.
You know what? You did. Probably 5 to 10% of the people that I run into in life will say it correctly. And there's no way that you can never expect somebody to say it correctly because it doesn't make any sense. They're not exposed to it, so why would they? Um,
I do love having a Mick last. Some Mick last names they're very weird, and you can't pronounce them. But my maiden name was a Mick. I'm a McDonald. Married a Mackenzie.
all
Easy.
right.
Everybody knows how to say it.
I
You know.
wish I had a name that was generic sounding, like Dave John Smith, right? Because then you would because that way you can blend into society, and you could pretend that you're avoiding Big Brother, you know. But with my name, there's probably one or two people in the world with my name, right? So there's no fucking way, on top of everything else. Okay. So it would give me the illusion, that I could do something like that. So
Except for your first name is Matt. That's
that is
that's
true.
pretty generic.
That is pretty generic for sure. I mean, um, yeah, I'll for sure.
You could
Anyway,
have always gone with Matt Sim or Simmy.
But those are high school names that were applied to me 30 years ago, right? So I
Sure.
could have done that, but it was like, but Shadowpunk worked, and uh,
And you're
in
promoting
theory,
the book. And the book is Shadow Punk, so why not?
I mean, and so people would say, who does 3D modeling? And they would instantly know who that person is. It wouldn't be like his name is whatever. It would just be instant, and it's I've done um, commissions for people over the last few years, um, and they have no problem finding me. Which is great. I love it, but um, you'll see on the campaign when we get into this. So I do love doing 3D modeling as well. It's a big part of me as an artist. Um, yeah. So
Yeah, well, and I definitely wanted to get into the 3D modeling, but let's talk about the actual book. It's your second in the series. Just like I personally love doing the elevator pitch thing because I like to judge people, Matt. Give me
I,
your best elevator pitch, and I'm going to say whether you did good or not.
um, okay, I'll give you an elevator pitch. So I'm in the elevator, and the guy says, "You're in a comics?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got my own comic book.
Mhm.
What's it like?" And I said, "Well, it's like being on the back of Ghost Rider's chopper, flying down a mountain with flames wrapping around your body, and your stomach is 40 feet up above you. That's what Shadowpunk is like." That would be my elevator pitch to get the guy hooked into the story,
Yes.
right? So I'll tell you about the story. Um, and I know you didn't read the first issue, so um, it's a futuristic story, kind of like Mad Max a little bit. It's in that vein, and she is living alone in the futuristic city of Detroit. It's all cratered out, and she has lost her family, and doesn't know where they are now, and she's trying to find them. And in the first book, she meets her mentor, and she also meets her nemesis. And when she meets her mentor, she finds out that his goals are connected to her goal of finding her family. So he hooks her up with the thing that you see on her, the way she's designed with the spiked helmet and the spiked gloves and her weapons and everything. Um, at the end, so I did an animated movie about Shadowpunk, and you can watch it on YouTube. Um, so at the end of the first issue, there's a huge bombshell revelation. She's found her family in a way, and it's not good. And it's getting real bad at this point. And I don't want to tell you what that is because it's a part of the story, right? For anybody that wants to buy the book and read it, I don't want to ruin that for them. Um, so in the second issue, she is gonna, when she comes out of this, finding out what happened to her family, she's gonna have to go into the deep part. It's called Inferno for a reason. She goes into the heart of evil, almost like a hell, and she has to go down into this hell in the center of the city, and she has to get the backpack she has that she lets her fly. The backpack is a power source, and they stole it at the beginning of the second issue, and they're going to use it for something different than what she uses it for. The guild that runs the city, so she has to get it back at all costs. And when she goes there, she's just a kid, okay? So when she goes there, they know she's coming, and they're ready for her. So she's in great peril, and when it's she's going to learn more about how horrible the world is when she goes there. So
Okay, and you're on your second book right now. What is the plan with the entire series? If you had all your dreams come true.
I would do.
Wait. Ooh, I actually do want to take one step back. You mentioned animation on your YouTube. What's going on with that?
Oh, so before I made like a 9-minute animated movie, like a quasi Pixar movie, kind of, on Shadowpunk, and it's her traveling across land with her family in like a covered wagon, and you get to see her family, her mother, her father, her little brother, and you learn kind of more about what the world's about. So when you read the comic book, you understand the end of the first issue. You understand why it's so impactful. You don't have to watch the movie, but if you go on YouTube and you look for Shadow Punk, you'll find my channel. You'll see my icon and everything. The icon looks just like this, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so in there, you'll see there's a 9-minute clip, and so there's voices. Because I do 3D, I textured all the faces and all the physical objects. It took me 4 years to make. And before the whole thing they call COVID, I was gonna get a job doing that kind of stuff, and that's part of the reason I did it. But obviously, things changed.
Hey, so if people were interested in finding your YouTube, because we have Woody out there saying, "Wait, what? I didn't know this existed." Obviously, he wants to go watch it. What is your YouTube channel? I'm trying to find the link.
Yep. If you go on YouTube, it's just type in like underneath my name there. Type in my label here, Shadow Punk, and you'll see there's I think there's one that's like a satanic star or something, but then below it you'll see my icon.
Okay, I think I found one of your shorts, so I think I can link through from there.
They're on YouTube, aren't they?
Oh, it's is it Shadow Punk 5595?
Yeah, they threw a number on there. YouTube did.
All right. Yeah, but I'm going to share the link to your YouTube channel so
Cool.
people get to find you
Cool.
and be able to watch. I mean, who doesn't want to see a 9-minute a 9-minute trailer from an independent you know what? And this too, Matt. I've found this over and over in the independent creative scene is that's kind of a lot of people's end goal is doing animation. And you've already freaking done it, right?
Well, I mean,
I
I
mean,
did do it. Yeah. I
you
mean,
should be proud of yourself.
oh, let me tell you something. Thank you very much. I was, it was I mean, 4 years is a long time to work on something. And it took me, when you see the characters, it took me maybe 6 months to make her in 3D because I had to do it over and over and do it till you find it. Just like that, designing the character from a comic book, you have to do it till you see the thing. That's it right there, right? You recognize it somehow. It comes together in pieces. So when I did her, I had to redesign her over and over again. Um, you know, how cartoony is it, or how realistic is it? That's a question you run into when you do that kind of stuff. So mine is kind of like um, it's like she has freckles a little bit in her skin. The other characters have like tons of detail. The hair moves. You know, I bought a hair generator and took months to learn how to do that. Um, so it's but that's how I ended up being able to start doing 3D modeling, is because of my experience working on the animated movie, right? So
Well, okay, so your experience also okay, so you have experience with doing the animated movie. Um would you suggest anybody that's interested in animation actually do it, or is it way more difficult than people imagine it is?
no, I would no, it's doable for sure. I mean, what happens? Let's just say you wanted to do it as a living. What you would do is you would be hired to do the one part of it, like an assembly line. It's good that you know the other aspects, but no one's going to hire you to do the whole thing. They're going to want you to specialize into one. So you're going to design the characters, or you're going to model them in 3D, or you're going to be the one that animates the bones that they put the character on. And the animators, all they do is the animation. So there's tons of nuance, and that pays off in these movies because you want the subtle nuances to give it life. With AI, I honestly I don't know the state of any visual arts at this point. I don't know the future state of it. in my mind, it's gone. In the next 10 years, it'll be all AI.
Right.
So, even if people say, I never want to buy an AI comic, right? Which is logical to me to say that. But what's going to happen is writers are going to go, you know what? This looks fucking amazing, and I have 10,000 styles to pick from, and so I'm going to focus on the story, and I'm just going to do it, and it's going to happen so fast that that they're gonna not understand. I can wait a year for the person to do the artwork, or I can, and I'm against it. I don't want that to happen, but I'm just telling you, from what the stuff we see is like, probably 10% the quality compared to what they really have. So I mean, right now I'm assuming right now that um, a lot of the footage you watch on your screens of people that look realistic are not real footage, you know.
Right.
And I think they've been doing that for some time. Um, Especially like if you watch something that says something like they want to get an emotional reaction out of people, you know, that stuff is so easy to just dial in. You know, I guarantee that's going on. So
Well, that makes sense. And I think even uh last week's guest or the week before, I think AI is a conversation to have with creatives. Like I really love having that conversation because you know, there's the staunch haters and the staunch supporters and everybody else in between, the gray area. And really, like, because there's a lot of morality attached to it. Like, oh, it's immoral. You can't do it because you're taking away work away from these artists, blah, blah, blah. But isn't a writer an artist? Broke ass writer, by the way. Like, are you really going to hate on him for like getting his story out there? Like, that seems wrong to me.
well, yeah, for sure. I mean, that is a dynamic that will happen. And when they move the football down the football grid, yard inch by inch, yard by yard, to eventually get you to accept it, that's one of the things that they will throw at you, right? I shouldn't say it that way. That's one of the dynamics that will pop up, and you won't be able to avoid it. So let's just say you're a writer and you're able to produce artwork that looks like The Watchmen,
Okay.
and you know what? We can't even tell the difference. So
Yeah. Well, oh, and you're saying we as people who do art or examine art. Is that what
yeah,
you're
the
saying?
fans and artists, people that are into this stuff, have a pretty good eye, right? Because they love what they love and they know why they kind of love it, right? So I
Right.
mean, like if you said that AI is exactly like Todd McFarlane, that's gonna, like, once it becomes seamless and indistinguishable. I personally don't know how you stop that, and I do think that I do think it's better that a human being makes it, but I don't know how to stop that.
Well, who wouldn't support that statement, right? You know,
I mean, what
if
else?
if
Yeah,
if there's work to be had and it can be paid for, let the human have it. You know.
yeah,
But
but I
on the
mean,
other hand, if it's a tool where people can use it and put shit out, you know,
so let's
and
just
it's
say, let's just say,
entertaining.
let's just say whoever your favorite writer is, all of us, they do it, right? So now all of a sudden you're gonna go, oh, I'll try it, and then you're gonna read it and go, this is actually not too bad. I get it. I mean, it's like a train coming right at you. What are you gonna do? I don't. It's someone smarter than me has to figure that kind of stuff out, and I don't. I don't know. You know. I just
Yeah.
it's so I mean maybe we'll all become writers. You know. I've no. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, no. And the show is not designed to like I personally like the great AI debate. I don't like when people get so angry about it or anything like that. I find it fascinating, really, because it's something that we're dealing with right now. But
Well, I think that the real question about AI is that I mean, this is one aspect, the jobs and the money involved to keep people's livelihoods and whatnot. That's a big deal. But the other aspect is that when it runs the government and you have no redress, which you don't anyway. But now it's like now when you call them up, it's an AI thing that you can't even debate with, right? You can't even pretend to debate about something because it's just AI, and it's going to run on a shoestring compared to what they pay, you know, now, right? I mean, so
You heard what's going on with the Actors Guild? They're protesting the AI creations because in anywhere between the next 3 to 10 years, as you said, AI will be taking over just about anything it can, and it can generate images of characters that look like scumbag like George Clooney, scumbag like Robert De Niro, and they don't need to be paid for it. They can just. That's why they're trying to license their images now. But you can create a character that looks close to something like that person, but it doesn't have to be that person. You can get around it, and AI is it's
are they are
adventurous and it's scary at the same time.
are they trying to like say that their method of acting is like intellectual property or something?
I guess
Like I
yes,
act the best
yeah,
and AI shouldn't copy it.
if I had to guess, I would. If you force me to make a decision, I would tell you that the Actors Guild thing is really just a front. It's them for some reason they're gonna be the people that do it, but in 10 years it'll be exactly where they say it's gonna be, and they were always knew that that would be the case. That
right.
sounds very cynical, but I mean, I think
They
that
just
these
have to profess and feign the anger and the frustration when in fact they're going to wind up voicing their own characters and they won't have to act. They'll just be voice actors.
well,
And
but
even that AI will take over your own voice. They
I
do it
mean,
now.
whatever it is, if you look at what they do now, the agendas that are in the movies, it's not like the actors go, "This is bullshit. I'm not doing it." That never happens.
There are some, Dean Cain, Kenneth Sorbo, those types of actors who decided not to perform for Hollywood anymore, and
Right.
they've stepped. James Woods, same thing.
Well, yeah, but but they're outliers in that way, and it's good. Maybe they do that, right? Because for the personal, we can see that they're personally convicted, but in the end, it won't stop anything from happening. So, for example, in movies, all the Star Wars movies now have women as the leaders, and all the men are bumblers or evil and their followers. And it's not like it's a mix or something either. It's not like all of a sudden Han Solo walks in and goes, "I'm taking charge. You did half the movie. I'll do the other half." That's not happening. Luke is sucking on the thing, right? He looks like a douchebag. So I mean, it's like that's to me, it's they have zero leverage. So I'm, I- you know, it's just one of those things where the more you see, the more you go. There's just no way they have so much leverage over these people. When you see like when you saw people during COVID, so they're in those PSAs and they say get vaccinated. You know that their agents said go do it. No matter if they're for it or against it, they're doing what they're told.
Yeah, and unless they have balls and or a backbone.
Well, if they have the balls, then they're not there anymore because there's a zillion people that are willing to, walk in there and take their place.
Yeah, but you got the people like, the I think the best example would be Mel Gibson. that are just like have that profile that their balls are backed up.
I sure would like to think that, but I have seen enough about Mel Gibson to wonder.
Enough what? Enough smear?
No, just enough underneath his hood where I watch him talk, and I'm not saying I'm right either, right? But I mean, I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird, and
Haven't jumped down that rabbit hole. Hey, Shadowpunk, me and you need to be better friends. You're gonna expose me to things that I'm like, oh really?
you don't want to know. Trust me. I mean,
I
it's
do though sometimes.
Oh.
That's the thing. I rely on all my dude friends to like give me information, and then I choose whether I'm gonna jump down that rabbit hole or not.
I'm still
Especially
waiting
if
for
it
the
gets
after.
too dark.
I'm still waiting for the after show chat we're gonna have.
I know. All right, we should move on. Wait, where are we? Oh,
Campaign?
dude, Matt, we've been trying to talk about your book, and you're like, whatever, I don't care about my book. Let's get into conspiracy corner, and we're still not even there. You have to mansplain first. So let's just get in the next segment. We're gonna hurry through this so we can get backstage. I got somebody over on Pilled hating hard time. And I don't care. You can keep having your free speech. And keep arguing in the chat. I love my chat on Pilled. All right. So we're getting into mansplain, and I have a burning question for you, and I think it's
Okay.
gonna be fun because I'm gonna also set up a scenario for you in this. So, Cosmic Grandpa, if you can bring us into the mansplain segment, I'd be so appreciative.
Oh, well, then perhaps you don't understand. See, mansplaining is when a man explains things to a woman like she's stupid.
And here we are. We're in the mansplain corner. No, I guess it's a corner. Mansplain if this is a corner or not. Just kidding. That's not the question. All right. So you went to art school.
Yep.
And that's basically every parent's nightmare. And also my husband also went to art school.
Oh.
But here's the scenario.
Okay.
I want you to mansplain to me and the audience why art school is actually a good idea.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I don't care if you agree.
Right. I'll step outside my own experience. I mean, it does, in theory, it does teach you a trade, and the world's built on imagery. So if you're going to be a creative artist of any type, it's worth it to go to art school to understand that kind of stuff so that you, and I'm going to try to mansplain it to you too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to say, listen up, Toots.
Listen up, little lady. I'm going to tell you how the world really works, okay? Yeah, so I mean, it's when I got out of art school, eventually I worked in motion graphics, and I made quite a bit of money. So I'm not saying it was good for my health, but I made a lot of money for a long time. So if making money is something that you don't want your kids to be starving artists, for example, it's definitely doable. Right, you can definitely get a job, and I worked in post production, so I worked on a system called Flame, which was like After Effects long before After Effects was existed. So I did mostly I did like graphics for giant auto shows. So there would be like movie screen size monitors, and then we would have our own stuff on there, right? And we would spend months doing it, and then the client would approve everything and finally get up there. But this was like back then, playing back HD footage was really difficult, and we had ones that were 5,000 pixels wide, right? So it was hard for that stuff, challenging. So you needed a system that could handle all that, and so the Flame did that. It was $250,000 when I was to buy the machine when I was working on it, and it probably still is. Um, and so you can, if I was gonna say go to art school, I would say it's also a education in illusion, because a lot of artwork is illusions, right? It's, even all the artwork we all make is really a facsimile of something, So there really is no dimension obviously in the drawing, but you make it look like there is, right? So a lot of that stuff goes on in the real world in different ways. You're like, holy Toledo, that's a fucking illusion too, you know? Um, but that would be my sell for art school.
Okay. And did you take out student loans and are they paid off?
Yes, I took out student loans. I paid them off. When I got out of art school, I made okay, when I was in art school, it was $460 a credit hour. And that was in the mid 90s. So when I graduated, I had a bunch of debt and I paid them all off, making $5 an hour. So I was able to pay all that stuff off. And
Are you that old? You're that old? $5 an hour?
yeah, I'm 55.
Wow. I
Yes.
thought we were around the same age. And actually we are. You're a Gen X.
Uh,
Bruce pretends like he wants to be Gen X, but he's not.
I mean, every time someone says Gen X, I think of Billy Idol, like doing a thing, like
Dude, Billy Idol. Okay, so I had a thought, and this is not the other day, but probably within the next year, of Billy Idol being the punk that they put out there to subvert the actual punk rock. Of
Sure.
like the one tattoo doing
Right.
this.
Right. So you say one day, like the real thing will disappear, and then you'll see his imagery doing the thing. Is what you're saying?
Well, even no, not in the future, just at the time. It's like,
Sure.
okay, there's this actual movement of people doing this thing of what's called rock. Here you go. Here's Billy Idol.
Yeah, totally. The world's like that, isn't it? Where like the what's the right word? The palatable version is always going to be the one that people recognize, and the guy that was the drummer on the Sex Pistols, normal people will never know that guy's name. I don't even know the guy's name, right?
I
So
don't either.
of course, that's my point. Like Billy Idol, yeah, like his name rolls off the tongue. It's
Well,
perfect on a logo.
yeah, and I think it's because it was pushed out there by the media.
Yeah, totally, totally.
You
I
know,
mean, it does. It also doesn't help that Billy Idol is probably some kind of degenerate. So characters, when you put forth to people, you don't want them to be just. If he has two sides to him, and you're not really sure, that's better, right? Because that way it makes people accept something bad over here without even saying that they're for it. So if you knew that Billy Idol had sex with underage women in Asia, which he did, right? You're gonna put that out of your head and go, well, the songs are cool, right? David Lee Roth is awesome, which he is, but he's done
are
some weird stuff.
are Billy Idol songs cool? I never heard that.
Well, I think they are. I
Oh
mean,
well, it's you eat salt on potatoes.
right. And I'm also very poppy in my kind of like non intuit music kind of thing. You know what I mean? It goes. I like Eyes Without a Face is good. I mean, my buddy loves Billy Idol, right? Because he's very easy to sell to people. They got the sound, great sound, and he has a pretty good voice.
He's
But
still around, and he has a radio show that he does on the XM radio segments.
okay,
I had no idea.
Yeah, he has a radio show on the alternate rock stations because they're pushing him out as alt rock when he was really pop rock as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, okay. If
He
I
was
if I
mainstream punk, if you
totally
want to give it a title, mainstream punk.
totally And
but
if
bubblegum punk, if you want to classify it.
I that's what I think of Green Day.
Yeah.
Bubblegum pop. Yeah, bubblegum. Yeah,
there's
bubblegum
something
punk.
there's something about I remember when I was a kid, I remember recognizing that's just fucking words put together. I don't even know what it means, but I know that's just phrases put together, right? So there is a certain level of commerciality to all the music, and it, like Billy Joel's a great writer. I love a lot of his songs, but sometimes I wonder, it's like
It's the same chords over and over and over again. If you listen to any of his music without the words, it's the same
really,
repetitive chords. Piano
I'm
Man.
right.
It's repetitive. It's the
Yeah,
words that sell the song. So and he even jokes about that. He's like, my songs are. It's the words to my songs that make them what they are.
you just
Can't
ruined it
stop the
for me.
fire. Think about Can't Stop the Fire. It's
Totally.
it's repetitive. It's the same shit, but it's the words that make the song.
I wouldn't be surprised if people like that they did the other way, and it just didn't work out. Nobody sings that song, but they do sing Piano Man, and so all of a sudden he's like, "I'm not stupid. This
I love
is
Piano Man.
yeah, it's a great song." I mean, he's on my phone. I'm sorry, on my surveillance device that looks like a phone. Billy Joel's at the top. So whenever I would mow the lawn or something, I would listen to it because it's right up there. And
Right.
the thing you said is probably 100% true. You know, I mean, and I think somebody with more astute taste in music would spot it faster than me. You know what I mean? They would go, there's way better than that out there. What are you doing?
You said yourself, you're not a connoisseur of music. You just listen to what you like, right? You want to enjoy what you want to enjoy. So you listen to music because it takes you out of your environment for that little bit, whatever it is. Mowing the lawn. Mowing the lawn is a tedious fucking job. You got your music playing on in your ears, it makes it go much quicker.
Big time.
Even though it's the same amount of time every time to mow the lawn, it makes it seem like it just breezes by. I listen to a lot of audiobooks when I'm in the car because I'm in the car a lot. But it makes the time pass when you're listening to a good book.
I'll tell you what. I listen to a lot of audiobooks in my life, and I think they're all fantastic. There was one that is unbelievably awesome, and maybe it's a particular taste of mine. It's a story called "The Living" by Annie Dillard, and it's about settlers traveling from East Coast to Northwest, like Seattle area during the 1880s, and it's about their lives. And this guy is a famous Broadway actor who did the voiceover, and it's fucking incredible. And you can only find it if you buy it, because I've looked. You can't.
It's called "The Living" by
Annie Dillard. Yep. Um, and that the power of like a voice actor is so amazing. To be a good storyteller, I mean, probably like James Earl Jones, right? I mean that's a perfect example.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Some of these, when you got it, you got it. Another one that was really good that really surprised me. And when I tell you, he's normally you would think he's a little monotone, but when he does the books, he's really good. Was Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon did. I have a book of his. He did On the Road, the Kerouac book, and it's fantastic. It's nuanced. It's got depth to it. His voice is interesting to listen to the whole time. And I've heard other ones of other books, and there's nothing like you. I would never think that about Matt Dillon. First off, until I heard it, right? Because he's like, he's Matt Dillon. He's great. He's good in what he does and everything. But it's like, but I don't know. Maybe when you watch him, the visual throws me off. He looks like a movie star, you know. But when you listen to just his voice, I thought, man, that guy is good.
Kevin Bacon did a book that I don't remember the name of it, but I listened to his book and I was blown away because he had that same kind of like power with the inflection in his voice. I'm trying to remember what book it was.
I totally believe it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think my guess is that if you've been acting for that long, it's the tool you've been using for quite a while. Like in JFK, the movie JFK, I don't know if you remember, but he's the gay guy they meet in the prison that tells them something about um, Clay Shaw, right? And he's talking like a Cajun guy, kind of. I remember thinking that's pretty good. He's pretty good, you know. I mean, he looks like Kevin Bacon, um, but his the rest of it works very well. So he's a, you know, I mean, so I'm not surprised that you tell me that.
Yeah, he's a musician. He's done audibles. He's done anything you can think of. And he's aged horribly.
Really?
And I love the fact that he's still married to Kira Sedgwick.
I didn't. Oh, is he all wrinkly or something?
Yeah, he aged
Okay.
horribly.
Okay. Well, I mean,
We'll have to
Watch-
Google that image.
Watch him in the holiday special, Guardians of the Galaxy, where they kidnap him. They kidnap him from Earth.
Oh, right, because he's footloose, right?
Yeah.
I got you, right? Yeah, I mean,
he is so weathered and wrinkled and battered. He stopped taking the adrenochrome probably like a few years ago or something. I don't know.
you know, it's like he must be old though, right? I mean, he's older than us.
I'm 61. He's probably like 67,
Okay.
65 or 67. So he's only a few years older than me.
I'll tell you what. A lot of times when I see these famous people, I'll give you a good example. This guy wasn't that old when he died, which made my eyebrow pop up even more. Was George Michael. Now, explain to me how a person that has $50 billion doesn't have the best health care in the world, and somehow he just happens to die when he's 50, early 50s, right? I mean, maybe they're high.
George Michael's a musician.
Yeah.
You know George Michael.
He died of AIDS. Is like the off the record.
Is it?
Kind of, yeah.
Because
that's the off record story. Is he died of AIDS?
Because I wondered if he had like an overdose. And that's my guess. That's not like I don't know anything. That's like because it happened real fast. So do you think that if it's the AIDS thing, because there was a point where he went to the hospital and he got out and he was all worked up about it and he talked to the press. He's like, oh, they helped me so much, And so then, like not long after, like a year or two, then is when he passed away.
Right.
So are you saying that maybe that theory is that he maybe had more than just a whatchamacallit?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the off book story. So we're not sure. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical examiner. I just play one on TV, so I can't be honestly,
It also coincides with the other aspect of his life, that he was a billionaire, whatever, but he cruised around and he had sex with guys, and that he was doing it without condoms and stuff.
All the glory hole stories of him.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
You guys, okay, we're getting way too gay over here. And I'm getting very uncomfortable. And the mansplaining stopped a long time ago.
It did.
But we have been touching on some conspiracy here. So we may as well get in conspiracy corner.
I think
right?
we need to spin the wheel. We need to spin the wheel.
Oh my God.
I'm like, you guys are getting a little much for creative chaos here. All right, we're gonna get into a conspiracy.
Come on,
corner
we were geeking out. We were geeking out, Disney.
Okay, I mean,
you guys.
I wanna live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those were aliens.
That's pretty good. That little thing.
The stinger? You like the stinger?
Yeah, the little segue thing you made. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Well, we didn't make that. That is our good friend, Dr. Clown.
Okay.
You might know him from Alex Jones fame way back in the day when he was making fun of COVID shit. Dr. Clown got famous back then, but he is a
And I
friend of
follow
Flip
him
City
on Twitter, and
Magazine.
he's funny as fuck.
You
I still
probably don't. You probably don't. That's a different Dr. Clown.
no, it's Dr. Clown. It's the
Are you
same guy.
sure? Are you
Yes,
sure? You're
100%.
100% sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Just send me the username and I will debunk you.
Okay.
Because a Cosmic Grandpa did that a couple months ago, where he's like, "Oh, look what Dr. Clown posted," and I'm like, "That's not our Dr. Clown. That's the Twitter Dr. Clown."
Oh wow! All right.
All right. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. We are here to spin that wheel of conspiracy as Vulcan lives, our wonderful
Okay.
moderator who never asked to be a mod, uh, is asking for. So
I just want to
here we
say,
go.
Christy, I love how your aluminum foil hat has developed into a Darth Vader-esque look.
It
Well,
does.
you know what's funny is I actually was going for last week. I was going for the Spaceballs look, and I didn't do it right. And then so I grabbed that and then just smushed it on my head. So that's what I
It
got
looks like
tonight.
it now.
Oh, and by the way, Matt slash Shadow Punk, you have it's absolute free speech. Even though we're on YouTube, it does not matter. It's why I wear the
Okay.
tinfoil hat. You can say whatever you want on this channel, like free
Okay.
speech. All right.
Okay.
So, Cosmic Grandpa, bring up the wheel. I'm going to explain to Shadow Punk how this works.
Holy
So,
shit.
we've got this wheel of conspiracy. It's got all kinds of conspiracy, all the way to actual, like, woo woo conspiracy,
Oh, there's
right?
such a thing, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. We're going to get to know you the best this way. So you get 3 spins here. You can choose to stay with topic 1 or topic 2. But if you spin a third time, you have to talk on that topic no matter what it is.
Assuming I know something about that, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
So if it says
Nope. Nope.
the flowers are infested with something and I don't know anything about the flowers, I have to make something up.
Yes, and that's
Okay.
why I love having creatives on.
Okay. Okay.
Is you can make something up. So
So do I
you
interact with it?
You tell Cosmic
no.
Grandpa to spin the wheel,
Yep.
and he will
Okay,
spin the
good.
wheel.
Okay. Well, then go for it. Okay.
You're
Do I-
muted, Christy. You're
Here's a
muted.
little side thing is if you want to say a couple few words sentences about a thing and then spin again, you're allowed.
Okay. Well,
Except for the third one.
So do you want me to tell you what this is really about? Is that what it is?
That's
We want to
basically
hear
what it
your
is.
opinion on the Philadelphia experiment.
Okay.
Or you can spin the wheel again.
No, I'm going to tell you about the Philadelphia experiment. I'm
All
going to tell you
right.
I'm
He's
going to tell
sticking
you
with
something
number
that you
1.
don't know. There is a connection between the people who made the people who did the Philadelphia experiment and the people who made Eddie and the Cruisers.
I'm
It's
sorry, the what?
Eddie and the Cruisers, the movie. And this is why Michael Paré was in the movie The Philadelphia Experiment. Yeah, this is what it is.
Here's the thing.
Please elaborate.
Okay, so Michael Paré is part of a long lineage of he looks like a normal guy, right? He looks like an actor that kind of makes it, right? But he is from a deep blue family, blue blood, right? His family goes way back, all the way to the Spanish Inquisition. That guy, and so they wanted to run psyops on the American people, and this was one of those psyops. So when they did the Philadelphia experiment originally, it was fake, but they try to get people worked up about it. And then by putting Michael Pare in movies, it's their way of linking him to that to perpetuate the idea. So that is what the Philadelphia experiment is really about. It's all a big psyop to make you think crazy shit happens.
Aren't all movie psyops these days, though? Or have been for years?
But this one's on double secret probation. This is the double secret probation of all conspiracy theories, is the Philadelphia experiment.
I never heard that term before.
Keep going.
Double secret probation?
Nope. Never
So
heard it.
You've heard it, Bruce. So should I mansplain it to you or keep going?
Please mansplain it to us.
Yeah,
so
we can cross the
Okay.
segments. That's
There is
fine.
there's a movie that everybody's watched, everybody, even in Borneo, called Animal House. Okay. And in Animal House, the kids get in trouble, and the hard ass principal or hard ass dean of the college says, "You guys majorly fucked up, and now you're on double secret probation." And then later on, right then the guy goes, "Double secret probation," and the kid goes, "Just go with it," right? Because he's fucking making it up at the time. So that's what it is. That's my mansplaining version of it.
Except for you left out toots or
Toots,
darling.
I try to tone. I try to get the tone, but
You did actually did. I felt a tiny bit offended, and I'm like,
Sure.
okay, I think he got the tone.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think you did a good job on that, but like you're such a conspiracy theorist. I would like to spin the wheel again if you're having fun.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Do it.
All right, spin the wheel, Cos. Mud flood. Okay, we're gonna get into that in 1 second, but I just have to highlight this comment. And I think this is a Ghostbusters joke. They warned us about crossing the segments. Cosmic. Uh, so Matt, do you know anything about the mud flood?
I think I know the real thing about the mud flood.
Oh my god, you want to mansplain again? We're gonna
Well,
cross the segments.
No, this won't be a mansplain. This is about the people that really run the world. The mud flood. They call it the mud flood, but it's to hide that the mud people run the world really, and they can get into anything, right? They can get
The
into
mud people?
the mud people. So the mud flood is the code word for um,
kind of like a great reset is kind of how I see it.
yeah, sure. I mean, it'd be more like you think the presidents are like, we'll do whatever we want, and they're like, yeah, but the mud people, they're coming. They're gonna mud flood us any second now. I have no idea. I don't even know I have no idea what the mud flood is. But
Spin that wheel. Spin that
wheel. One more. We're actually giving him 3 spins tonight where he gets to elaborate a little bit more.
Sure. The mud people.
I like it. All right, last spin. That's a big umbrella.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's hard to make something up about this.
But you know what it is, don't you?
Yeah, I do know what it is. Yeah. So MK Ultra, when you get into it, on the surface, it sounds like experiments they did to try to see if they can manipulate people. For example, to remove memories from them and have them do things. For example, Sirhan is famous for being MK Ultra. They think that he doesn't know what the hell he was even doing there, right? Um, and so, but in reality, that's the beginning of it. It really is a way to. A good example of MK Ultra is the memory hole that happens when things happen in the world, right? When something happens to people or something like COVID, let's say COVID, and all of a sudden we were pretty fucking pissed off, and then a couple years later they're like, well, yeah. So like that memory hole thing is part of the MK Ultra thing, where they use the media to manipulate the population on a mass scale.
You
And
know, only because you brought
COVID
up
was a mass MK Ultra experiment on we the people, all of us, the whole world.
I mean, how can it not be? I mean, the thing about COVID is that that's one facet of it, right? The convincing people of a thing that you can't, only the experts can tell you that it's there, right? But somehow you're supposed to trust them, right? That alone is a way to manipulate people. So if you say, people are getting sick everywhere, but you're just watching images on the screen, you know, I know people did get sick. I never met anybody I never met anybody who died ever. So
I
uh,
never did either.
I knew people that did get sick, but that doesn't mean that the floating cloud thing that they ran into at the supermarket touched them and they got sick. I mean, I guess it could, but even by logic, you think there's a lot of things they can do to make you get sick, right?
Listen, if they didn't follow those arrows, they deserve to get sick in the grocery store.
Totally. Those fuckers, you know?
Yeah. If they didn't wear their mask while going to sit down at the table and then take their mask off appropriately to eat,
Each bite.
yeah,
Yeah.
they deserve to get
They
sick.
deserve that. I mean, I know highly intelligent people that still believe that. And it has nothing to do with intelligence, this kind of stuff. You could be 180, right?
That's the whole tell lie vision with the news media and the Mockingbird media.
What do you think it is though? Like people's propensity to like just be a frightened person?
I think that over our whole lifetimes, there's been like people who've been influenced on multiple levels. For one example, is to accept the authority says something. Like the doctors say that there's a thing called COVID, so you believe now that there's a thing called COVID because why wouldn't you trust a doctor, right?
The
So
appeal to authority thing.
yeah, and logically, at some level, that does make sense, right? But if you're skeptical about things, then you eventually should go, okay, this is fuck. Everything's got bullshit to it, And so there's levers on every facet of society that you can pull things, make it look like this and not like that, right? I don't believe anything I see on my screen as the default, and I'm willing to be convinced, But it's like as of now, I don't. I mean, I'm skeptical about every single thing, everything. And to me, the biggest, most important quality a person can have is the willingness to say, "I want the truth." And that is scary because you have to throw away the things you believe in.
Do you think it's more of a willingness or an actual commitment? I actually think a more appropriate word is a commitment to wanting the truth because a willingness kind of like that's a
Yeah,
wishy-washy
that is a
word.
good point. I mean, you're right because you could go. A good example would be, let's just say you get into the JFK thing, okay, And your willingness is to look at it and go, yeah, that does look pretty weird. I don't know. But that might be where it ends.
Right.
And your point you're making is that the consistent point is that you would go continue to go further. And let's just say you are a 100% believer in the U.S. government, and you believe they protected you your whole life, created a good stable environment for your family, and on and on. Okay, so for you to question anything that would break apart your world, right? So let's just say you are let's do it the other way. Let's just say you worship JFK. He is the best guy ever, right? And they killed him because he was doing something good, right? Let's just say that's your point of view, right? That is still not a truth or point of view, because you should be willing to accept the fact that might not be true, right?
That
And
is true.
the problem with the whole thing is that you don't know. And the world's so deep and full of bullshit, you're never really going to know. So you're going to have to go with your gut, and your gut's probably wrong 50-50. Okay. So, but that is a thing. You have to be willing to say, pick whatever cherished value you have, whatever that thing is, say, I'm willing to throw it away right now. If I find out, right now is the wrong word. If I find out the truth and I think that truth is more convincing, I'm going to throw that away. Right. And so that is very difficult for people, because most people want to just get along in life. Right. And I don't want to fight with people. And I go to work, I come home, I go to work again, I come home, talk to my wife. I don't want to fight with my wife. Right. That kind of stuff. You don't really, life is hard enough without those challenges. Right. So, most people are not the consistent thing you say, because of multiple reasons. And I think that that willingness to be uncomfortable is rare. And I think if you are, let's just say you're a family man, that should be your priority, right? Taking care of your family. And
I'd say so. Yeah.
but let's just say you worked in the public sector, and let's just say you realize that the way you get paid is kind of weird, right? You're guaranteed to pay, and the taxpayers have no recourse whatsoever. But you still have family to feed, so you're caught, you're stuck, right? So you're going to continue to take those increases in your pay, and your neighbor is just an artist who's just trying to make it, and they don't have health care, but you're paying for their health care and their pensions. So you see how it becomes super complicated, and that's just one thing, right? You
It
know.
is true. Yeah.
So in the thing about that I see in anything in this world that pits you against other people is something constructed, and it's meant there to go. If it's this, or like if you have to choose this, or you're with us or not with us in any facet. There's a lot of theories about who runs the world and all this stuff. And I'm telling you, if you're pitted against anybody,
Lizard people.
it's a lot of people. You didn't know that? It's a lot of people, you know? But that's the thing. I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around. Probably all of us at some level, right? But try not to let yourself get pitted against other people. And this happens in the culture wars, because you're seeing these freakazoids in the last 10 years come out of the woodwork, and they're in the movies, and they're putting their agendas in the movies, all bad stuff, right? But just I always keep that in mind, because it's not us or it. Yeah, so.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, and that's something I think has been a guiding principle in why I've stepped back from a ton of social media or being angry about a lot of stuff when it's neighbor against neighbor. I'm like, this seems like the psyop. Like they want us fighting amongst each other so we're not pointing up, you know.
Yes, that is.
Remember this. Barry Soetoro said that he was going to fundamentally change America, and he did.
Well, I mean, I would probably challenge you on that
Go
because
ahead.
I think that it changed a long time ago. And I think that he is just a bag man. And they make him say those things so you think it's happening now.
But it's been happening all well. Yuri Bezmenov told us that this has been a slow burn for the last 40 years.
Right. Well, when we get off the camera, we can have I can tell you. But
I would
Yuri
love to.
that is definitely like looking under the hood, right? And you're like, that. I mean, what he said is true, 100%. Like, they have these cycle. They know how to do it. They know how to take in 3 generations, change the nature of the people that live in any country, right? I mean, that's 100% true. But the premise behind who he is, or who, there's something different there, and I know I'll tell you what it is. So, but like I said, I mean, the neighbor versus neighbor thing is that is in family versus family. You know, if nothing else, you go. I don't really I might not be right. I might not be correct about that thing that I'm arguing with my family about. Right? Let's say it's COVID. Let's say COVID is a thing. Right? Let's just say I'm totally wrong. Let's say there is a floating thing like Star Trek that can a virus that can get you. You know, I don't think that's true. But if it is true, I have to accept the fact I could be wrong and give my family the benefit of the doubt. Because if they had 40 IQs, I would go, okay, hold on, but they don't. They're intelligent. So I know that they're not stupid. So I mean, and you just have to do that because, like in my family, we had disagreements about it, but we never let it separate us. And our points of view about life are very different. But we were smart enough. My family doesn't even know that the shit we're talking about is going on. The Yuri Bezmenov operations on human beings, right? They don't even fucking know, right? But they knew that separation is probably bad.
Yep.
I think that's a guiding principle. Just don't let them separate you. And you hear that story over and over. Is so many families that aren't intelligent enough to like kind of see that obvious thing of the separation, like do separate, like my boss and his liberal daughter haven't talked in, a year or whatever because he voted the wrong way or has the wrong opinion. But it is on her because that's what her side told her to do. It's like,
Well,
no,
I
you'll be
mean,
happier cut off the family.
with stuff like that, I always tell myself, those operations on people are so unbelievably powerful. They look like they don't even exist, but when they listen to people talk about whatever she knows and whatever, and that's so powerful. It's been perfected over such a long time. They know how to do it, and they know how to work people up. And so, like, it's you almost say to yourself, it's not even really. She's not savvy enough. She could have 180 IQ, but she's not savvy enough to know that this is happening. And
Right.
the best example I would tell people is, let's just say you're a rocket scientist and a brain surgeon, and you're walking home from work one day, and the kid has the shells. You don't stand a chance because you don't know the scam. And the
Right.
kid on the street knows the scam, and his little buddy knows the scam. So intelligence isn't just the only factor. You've got to know even that it's happening. So
That is true. That is true, and that's not a thing that you get taught in school. And Matt, we're gonna leave conspiracy corner. You've done a very wonderful job because we still need to brand you
yes,
tonight, and the show, and that's the final thing that we do on every Creative Chaos. I'm super sad that I didn't pick something from the Flip City Archives that was a little more hefty. I
okay.
didn't know who you were. I just got to know you tonight. next time, baby.
Yeah.
But what I did pick was something that forces you to do a British accent. How's that sound?
Oh, holy shit. Well, can you tell me like a
Yes, we're gonna get into it.
holy
I'm gonna
crap.
show you what it is,
Holy-
and then I'll tell you. Do you know who Gordon Ramsay is, by the way?
He's the cook guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this is a short 4-panel thing. We're gonna brand you, and it's just a Flip City brand, and it comes with invitations back to our future FAFO streams. So, cause if you can bring up Gordon Ramsay's Super Cooks. All right. So, Matt, I'm going to read you in with this title card here. You're playing Gordon Ramsay. Bruce, are you still around?
Yes, I
Nope.
am.
You are. I forget if the other character has any lines in this, but if they do, would you like to read them?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
I mean, we want to brand Matt, so let's just brand Matt.
We're branding Matt, but somebody
is it
has
gonna burn when you brand me?
well,
In a psychological kind of way, but not in a physical kind of way.
But where do you want it, Matt? Where do you want this
burning on my ass.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to read you in. You're playing Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
And you just have to read the lines, and if you have a British accent, do it.
This will be horrible.
It's super
Go for
easy.
it. It'd be horrible.
All right, here we go. Talented chefs compete for cash and prizes on world famous Chef Gordon Ramsay's latest cooking show, Gordon Ramsay's Super Cooks.
You want me to read this?
Oh, I'm the narrator. Here we go. Chef Ramsay addresses the aspiring chefs in the Super Cooks competition. And this is you, Matt.
A great dish should be all about you, your passion, your lived experience. I want to see you all put your heart into every dish you create. You have 30 minutes. Good luck. And remember, I want to taste you on that plate.
30 minutes later.
The hot is a little gamey, but the chimichurri sauce is delicious. Well done.
Yeah, so your British accent was terrible.
You know what? Some people have a really good ear for sounds. I don't.
No, I can't do accents for shit.
Bloody shit.
Oh, pretty good, pretty good.
You know, the British, they take the words and they condense them. And they think that talking fast is for smart people and we're stupid Americans, right? They all think we talk like John Wayne and we're about to get around to explaining it someday, right?
I
And
think
they're
we
all
might, though.
What's that?
I wouldn't disagree.
I mean, I think they kind of think that about us. I mean, it's probably truth to it, you know, but it's like they have little nicknames for everything to make it even go faster, right?
That is true.
Like a cigarette, they call it a fag. Can I pinch a fag?
Right. So,
I had an Australian friend years ago when I had made chocolate chip cookies. She's like, "These are great choc chips," and I'm like, "What? Great choc chips?"
Right, chalk chips, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is an interesting thing that they do that. it must be tedious for them to listen to us. I think there's like a bunch of different English accents, right? There's a really rich, whiny one where everything's all good, right? Where like everything you're complaining about. But then there's like the Cockney one where it's super fast and condensed. And you're like, what the fuck do you just fucking say? You know?
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the low class British accent, isn't it? The Cockney.
it is, but you know what though? I hate to admit this, but some accents are better than others. And so the English people in general have a good one. There are some that are like, okay, when Antonio Banderas explains how awesome you are, it's pretty cool, right? Because Spanish is pretty cool too. But the German is short and sharp, right? You know, and so unless she's 100% centerfold babe, right, it isn't going to really be that great, you know. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, they're all different. All the different accents. French, like French, is very
It's a little sexy.
it's better for
It's
women than it
fluid.
is for men. Yeah, yeah.
And
For
if you
men,
have an Indian accent, you can't say anything sexy in Indian twang.
that is tough, man. I mean, you better be Rico Suave looking or something if you're gonna have that accent, right?
Are
And
there
some,
any Rico Suave looking Indians though? Probably
well,
not.
I mean, like there are
Well, look
like
at Bollywood. My ex-wife watched Bollywood all the time, and she she got her knickers in a twist for some of the Bollywood actors. Yeah.
I mean, there are some people that they're very symmetrical, their faces, and they uh did you ever see that movie The Immortals with what's his name? Um the Witcher guy? Um
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, yeah. So, you know, in there's a Indian woman who she's a mystic or something, and they're traveling protecting her, and she's a knockout. You like, oh my god, you know, I guess I get it, right? Now I get like why in these she has a Helen of Troy thing going on. You're like, yeah, people go fucking ballistic over this shit,
Yeah.
right? She's not in the realm of normal people, but so
All right. Very, very interesting discussion on
yeah.
accents right here at the end of Creative Chaos. We're going to close it out tonight so we can get backstage. And Shadow Punk is going to mansplain to Bruce Wayne, I think, backstage. And you guys don't get to hear. But I did set a raid for Atomic Annie over on Pilled. So you guys go enjoy over on Pilled what's going on over there. And this is where we give our guest one final opportunity to tell everybody what they'd like the viewing audience to do tonight.
Where to
I'll,
find you and how?
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, we had so much fun talking. Sometimes it's better than going over campaigns and things like that. But my campaign is my life. The comic book is my life. I put everything into it. There are 3D figures statues I created for people to win if they back the book. And the
And they're
story.
rad.
Thank you.
They're very cool.
And I hope that, you know, people love them. And I hope that the story of my book is really good. And I hope that people get the book. So go check the campaign out.
And that's on Fund My Comic. And just to let you know, Shadowpunk, I know I decided to do an experiment over on Fund My Comic and scroll the home page, and I talked about it to you on DMs that I could not find your campaign. And I did back channel a complaint, and they said they fixed it. I haven't
Oh,
looked.
okay.
So look for Shadowpunk
Thank you.
on fundmycomic.com, and I do have the direct link that I will be sharing the chat shortly. It is also in the description of the video of the live stream. But Bruce, where can everybody find you?
Well, Cosmic Grandpa, our producer, and myself can be found every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Big Apple time, 4 o'clock Avocado time, on pill.net, Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, Odyssey. Oh my God, we're on so many platforms. But if you want to find us, very simply just type in the number 3, BEERMEN.TV, 3beermen.TV, where we talk about beer, pop culture, and technology. And that's every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Big Apple time. Check us out.
You guys, I'm starting to like get embarrassed because Woody's flirting with me live.
Wooden.
He's saying that I'm cute and I have a sense of humor. Don't
Does he
get
know
into
you're
my
married?
pants. Huh? No, what? Okay, what I know about Woody is he's old.
Aren't we
So
all?
that could be it. Like
You got a geriatric
like
stalker.
as far as like comparisons go, I'm still young to Woody. Like so I'll take it. It's also why I joined the Elks Club. My local Elks Club. I go in there and I'm like the young hot stuff. Anyway, you guys, if you want to check out Flip City Magazine, we are all over the internet at Flip City Mag. If you want to connect with me directly, it's under my catfish profile at Kitty Flip City on X or Kitty Phillips over on Facebook. But the most important thing is that Flip City Magazine has the Parodies Only Special Edition live right now on fundmycomic.com. And I got it. All right. Fundmycomic.com/FlipCity27. I had to get onto this. Thank you so much, Shadowpunk, for hanging out with us.
I loved it.
I didn't know you were so conspiratorial. Like I'm literally interacting with you more on X so we can be more like internet friends. I'm so happy to have met you.
Well, I would tell you I'm not at all conspiratorial.
No, you are. Okay, bye. No, I'm kidding. You.
Okay, class. List everything insensitive, exclusionary, bigoted, nationalistic, misogynistic, and offensive that you can find in history's great myths and legends. Extra points for suffering panic attacks or emotional outbursts. Fact check every opinion against the lived experience of your comrades and allies, so you can avoid forming a criminal opinion. Scrutinize it cover to cover. Wrongthink, misgendering, dead naming, misinformation, microaggressions. Leave no page unturned.